गौड़ा जी। शुक्रिया शंकर जी। प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के अध्यक्ष श्री डी.के. शिव कुमार जी, पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री विपक्ष के नेता माननीय सिद्धारमैया जी, एक और ऐसी शख्सियत जिनके साथ लोकसभा और अब राज्यसभा में काम करने का लगातार मुझे सौभाग्य मिला और आज भी मिल रहा है, आदरणीय मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे साहब, काउंसिल में हमारे नेता एस.आर. पाटिल जी, कांग्रेस कार्य समिति के सदस्य मुनियप्पा साहब, प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के कार्यकारी अध्यक्ष ईश्वर खंडरे जी, सलीम अहमद जी, सतीश झारखियोली जी, पूर्व प्रदेश कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष देश पांडे जी, आदरणीय रहमान खान जी, सीएम इब्राहिम जी, आदरणीय वीरभद्रप्पा जी, बी.के. हरिप्रसाद जी, कांग्रेस के अगले अध्यक्ष का चुनाव करने वाली समिति के सदस्य कृष्ण बैरेगौड़ा जी, आदरणीय रामलिंग रेड्डी जी, आदरणीय वीरन्ना मट्टीकट्टी जी, के.बी. कोलीवाड़ जी जो हमारे पूर्व स्पीकर हैं, विनय कुमार सोरके जी, सांसद लोकसभा डी. सुरेश जी, सांसद राज्यसभा हनुमंतैया जी, डॉक्टर नासिर हुसैन जी, मेरे साथ आए पंजाब से हमारे साथी और विधायक रविंदर आंवला जी, सभी सम्मानित विधायकगण, जिला कांग्रेस कमेटी के सम्मानित अध्यक्षगण, वो सारे कांग्रेस के सिपाही, all those warriors of the Congress party who fought valiantly. Does not matter, we win some, we lose some, but all the Congress candidates who have come here especially, President and members of the Youth Congress, Mahila Congress, NSUI, Seva Dal, and all our frontal organizations. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you that in times of COVID, in times when the entire country, including state of Karnataka, is plagued by a pandemic that has no possible solution in sight, all of you have taken the time for the sake of the Congress party to come here today and to join hands to pass the 3 resolutions and 2 more with your permissions that I propose here, as also to consolidate our fight under the leadership of Shrimati Sonia Gandhi and Shri Rahul Gandhi. I also want to thank you. I want to thank D.K. Shiv Kumar ji for organizing this in such a competent fashion and for his kind words. I want to thank Siddharamaiah ji, Khadge Sahab and all others for the kind words that they spoke. I only want to say one thing. I'm not here as General Secretary of the AICC alone. I'm here principally as a worker of the Congress party who has given 36 years or 53 years of his life to the Indian National Congress, has never wavered, has never shaken from my commitment in good times and in bad times and in worse times. We have stood resolutely, firmly, and with complete dedication and conviction to the ideals and ideology of the Congress party and to our leadership. And I assure you that I will work alongside you, sir, with the same dedication and commitment. I want to first start with the organization, but before I go there, I want to say that Karnataka and Congress has a deep-rooted commitment with each other. I still recollect that in 1978, when Indira Ji was coming back, she was re-elected on this holy land. And when Sonia Ji came into politics, she again went to Parliament after having been elected from Karnataka. I want to say something about the organization. My principal experience, yes, I have served for about 10 years in the government, but my principal experience is of organization. I've served the AICC way back in 2004 as secretary in charge of Uttar Pradesh. I've served NSUI, I've served Youth Congress. I have been fortunate enough to serve AICC for many, many years. I assure you that the first and foremost objective of ours should be to overhaul the Congress party and make way like this stage which is empty, and everybody, irrespective of caste or creed or religion, can come and express his or her opinion freely and frankly. I want to create space for the most dedicated and committed Congress worker to rise in the organization, as also rise in the government that will be elected by people of Karnataka, of the Congress party in the future. I will ensure that as a worker, I will create space for you. We will ensure, as DK Shivkumar ji had said, we are a mass-based party. And we shall always remain, sir, a mass-based party. We are a party driven by ideology. We are a party driven by ideas. We are also a party driven by individuals. But we also need to become, as you had said, a party driven by our cadre, commitment of our worker. And for that, all of you who are sitting here, because obviously all the workers can't possibly fit into many, many halls like this. So all of you who are sitting here, all of you who have ruled the state in the past, all of you who are going to rule this state in the future, you will have to create space, share power, listen to the voice, listen to the ethos, listen to the pain, and listen to the grassroots suffering of Congress workers. Only then this party will become strong. I also assure you that performance will be the only criteria, commitment to the party will be the only criteria to reach the highest position in the party. That is what Sonia ji wants, that is what Rahul Gandhi ji wants, and that is what has to be the commitment of the Congress party. Irrespective of who you are, irrespective of which caste you come from, irrespective of which religion you come from, if you work well, if you are wedded to the ideology of the party, you will have a space in the party and in the government that will be formed by 6.75 crore people of Karnataka, of the Congress party in the future, as Kharge Saab, Siddaramaiah ji, DK Shivkumar ji, and many others pointed out. There are many, many issues before us, and some of them have been discussed. I will like to briefly touch upon them. And I'll take the liberty to speak partly in Hindi and partly in English with your permission. For I asked both Satish ji and Ishwar ji and Salim bhai, and they said both will do. So I will try to speak both. कोरोना महामारी जिसकी चर्चा शिव कुमार जी ने भी की, जिसकी चर्चा सिद्धारमैया जी ने भी की, कोरोना महामारी में प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा था आपदा में अवसर ढूंढिए। येदियुरप्पा जी ने वो बात सीरियसली ले ली है। उन्होंने कोरोना के पैसों की आपदा में अवसर ढूंढ लिया है। इसीलिए 4 लाख रुपए का वेंटिलेटर वो 10 और 15 लाख में खरीद रहे हैं। इसीलिए इस देश में सबसे बड़ा पीपीई किट घोटाला कर्नाटका में हुआ। वो सारा पैसा जो लाखों गरीबों और मरीजों के इलाज के लिए होना चाहिए था, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने भ्रष्टाचार कर अपनी जेब में डाल लिया। यहां चर्चा की गई, शायद देश पांडे साहब ने कहा कि 5 लाख केसेस अब कोरोना महामारी से ग्रस्त हमारे प्रदेश कर्नाटका में। सर, यह संख्या 6 लाख पहुंच गई है लगभग, क्योंकि 5,66,000 वो केसेस हैं। हिंदुस्तान में शायद अब दूसरे या तीसरे नंबर पर 1 लाख एक्टिव केसेस का आंकड़ा कर्नाटक प्रदेश क्रॉस कर गया है। 8,500 लोग मर गए। यह कैसी सरकार और कैसे मुख्यमंत्री हैं, जहां 8500 लोग मर जाएं और मुख्यमंत्री के कान पर जूं तक ना रहेंगे। उल्टा वो विपक्ष के नेता को, प्रदेश कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष को, काउंसिल के अध्यक्ष पाटिल साहब को, हमारे विधायक साथियों को, उनको वो उठकर भ्रष्टाचार को जस्टिफाई करें। बंगलोर, जो हिंदुस्तान की आईटी इंटेलेक्चुअल कैपिटल है, वहां 2,16,000 कोरोना के केसेस हो गए। यानी पूरे कर्नाटका के आधे केसेस केवल इस शहर के अंदर है। 2,800 लोग मर गए, यानी पूरे कर्नाटक की आधी मौत केवल इस शहर में हो गई। परंतु मुख्यमंत्री को कोई बिल्कुल बेखबर है, उन्हें कोई चिंता नहीं। हाउ कैन ए चीफ मिनिस्टर sleep at night with the blood and death of 8,500 of his own citizens as also brothers and sisters on account of negligence of a government? How can you go to sleep? How can the health minister sleep at night? How can the Bharatiya Janata Party ministers even think of siphoning of money meant for corona patients when 8,500 people have died, 2,800 in Bangalore alone? That's a corruption issue we need to raise, D.K. Shiv Kumar ji. And the BDA corruption on which I have to praise both our leader of opposition and PCC president and our legislators, our council leader, the stellar manner in which you have taken the government head on. I agree with you, Siddaramaiah Saab. I also have not seen such a blatant case of corruption. There is written proof of the corruption of the chief minister's family. Government has admitted on the floor of the assembly. So what? So what if Vijendra was speaking about money having been taken in his name and in the name of his father? Why did you not lodge an FIR? Why did you not cancel that contract? Why did you not send that contractor behind bars? Why did you not arrest that officer? And who is Vijendra to give instruction to Chief Secretary? No wonder people say in Karnataka there are 2 kinds of taxes. One is GST, other is VST. There are 2 kinds of taxes in Karnataka now. The Chief Minister of the state told leader of opposition, told PCC president that he is ready to retire. Well, we challenge you, Mr. Chief Minister. We challenge you to submit to a probe by a sitting Supreme Court judge or an SIT headed by Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court as demanded by PCC and CLP and the entire Congress party. And till then you must resign, for you have lost the right to govern this state on account of the blatant corruption allegations against your family, of which there is prima facie evidence available. And these are not the only two acts of corruption. Why was the Land Reforms Bill introduced by Devraj Arsji? Why was it amended? It was amended because there are 13,814 cases of violation of the Land Reforms Act which are pending against influential builders, against important crony capitalist friends of Yadurappa government. With one stroke of pen, you have taken away 13,814 cases where farmers' land has been snatched by powerful lobbies of the state. Why should the right of tiller to not sell his land to an influential person with money be taken away? Can Yadurappa ji or people, other political parties who are now supporting him in Vidhan Sabha and claim to be secular, can they answer that? Do they want small land holdings of Karnataka's farmers to be taken away? Do they want that the rich should buy out the entire land of Karnataka? What is it that this Chief Minister and his government and the Bharatiya Janata Party seeking to achieve? And on the other side, you bring in, at the instance of Prime Minister Modi, the APMC Act abolition amendments. Why is it that the farmer from Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Bihar, Maharashtra, the entire farmer is up in arms? The answer is simple, sir, and I want to place for your consideration. Prime Minister Modi wants to finish minimum support price. He wants to finish it completely. If there are no APMCs, I'm a farmer myself, I still till my land. I haven't given it out on lease like many others have. I still grow my wheat, I still grow my rice, some of which may come to Karnataka through the PDS system. If there are no APMCs, how will 15.5 crore farmers of India, including those in Karnataka, get minimum support price? Who will give it to them? May I ask Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Yadurappa, how will they get it? What would be that mechanism to get it? Where will they get it? The truth is, the day you finish APMCs, the collective power of landless labor and the collective power of the farmer goes away, and he or she will not get an MSP. Number two, Prime Minister Modi says, oh, I have unshackled agriculture, and farmer can now sell his crop anywhere in the country. Mr. Prime Minister, I wish you had tilled the land even once in your life. The tragedy of this country, sir, is Prime Minister of India does not own a single inch of agricultural land, nor has he ever tilled the land. And the Agriculture Minister says he also has never done agriculture, Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar. So you have a Prime Minister and an Agriculture Minister who have never done agriculture, and they are giving gyan to us, the farmers and the farm laborers of this country. The agriculture census of 2015-16 says 86.2% of India's farmers own less than 5 acres of land, and 80% of them own less than 2 acres of land. They can still sell anywhere. But how will a farmer of Coorg take his coffee and sell it in New Delhi? How will a farmer of Haryana bring his rice, paddy and sell it in Karnataka? How will a rubber producing farmer of Kerala take his crop to central India and sell it there? How will a tea farmer of Assam take his crop to Ahmedabad and sell it there? How will a cotton producing farmer of Rajasthan and Gujarat bring his cotton from there and sell it in Mumbai? It's an impossibility. And once there is no market, then 2 or 3 big crony capitalist friends of Mr. Modi will take over agriculture. And that, sir, is because agriculture is 25 lakh crore business in India. 25 lakh crore. It is bigger than any other business of India. So Prime Minister of India and Chief Minister of Karnataka want to ensure that farm laborer and farmer, they become bonded labor in their own farms and fields. And that is also the intent, sir, of the Labour Act, which was successfully defeated historically in the council by the competence of our members, and on which Kharge Saab spoke for the party on the other day. I also want to say one more thing. While Indian National Congress has given a program, I have discussed it with the PCC president, I mentioned it to CLP leader. What we propose to do, tomorrow is a Bandh call by the farmer organizations. As the PCC president has already said, we will support the Bandh call wholeheartedly. All our district units, all our leaders will join and sit alongside the farmer. Wherever possible, I would urge PCC president to convey that message across all districts, as also through the all working presidents. We are all also marching and first sitting in Dharna and marching to the governor's house, giving a memorandum for repeal of the agri bills and to not grant consent to the land reforms bill. We will give a memorandum tomorrow. On 2nd of October, which is Gandhi Jayanti, as also the Jayanti of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, every assembly constituency, the block president, as also the sitting MLA or the person who contested the MLA election, we must do dharna and demonstration demanding withdrawal of the land reforms amendment, as also the 3 black laws of agriculture bills. On 10th of October, not in Bangalore, but we can decide North Karnataka, South Karnataka, elsewhere, we can sit down. Let's hold a Kisan Sammelan where we can, with COVID protocol, call prominent representatives of the farmer so as to enlighten them both on the land reforms amendment bill, the labor bills, as also the 3 agricultural bills. Between 2nd October to 31st October, Congress party proposes to launch a signature campaign, and in Karnataka it will also include withdrawal of the amendment on land reforms bill, as also the complete repeal of the 3 agriculture bills brought in by the Modi government. Somewhere around 15th to 20th October, let's observe one day as Anti-Corruption Day, wherein the scam of the Bangalore Development Authority, the COVID scam, the land reforms bill scam, all 3 scams can be highlighted at the district level, taluka level, as also at the state level. And that date, I'm sure the PCC president and the working presidents will discuss with CLP leader and other senior leaders, and will consequently do. These are some of the programs we must do this month. I also want to assure you of one more thing. I had the good fortune to interact with both Indira ji as a child and with Rajiv ji when I was not a child but not really very young. I was in NSUI Youth Congress at that time. I heard him say one thing and I want to repeat that here. Congress party belongs to, which Mahatma Gandhi said once in his own words of last man in the line. He said Congress party belongs to and stands for the rights of the downtrodden, the rights of the poor, the rights of the backwards, the rights of the SC, ST, the rights of minorities and women first. So they have a first right. They have a first right over the Congress party. Let's make sure that those words do not remain empty words. I'm very happy with the practice that you have adopted of giving all organization a chance, and I must commend you for it. Let's ensure that our organization, which we will restructure in days to come, has adequate representation for the genuine leadership of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward classes, women, youth, farmer, minorities. Only then we will be able to ensure that the scales are equal for the unequal in the society. For there has to be no unequal in the society. For we must feel their pain. We must feel the discrimination. We must have compassion. I always say, sir, before I end, Congress party needs two things. More and more of our leaders need two things. One, compassion. Compassion means a sense of equality for the unequal. And two, discipline. The day we are able to completely master, it's an evolutionary process. जिस दिन हम इन दोनों पर नियंत्रण पालेंगे, जिस दिन हम किसान और खेत मजदूर, SC और ST और OBC, महिला और माइनॉरिटीज, युवा उनका चेहरा बन जाएंगे, उस दिन हमें ना सत्ता में आने से और ना सत्ता को जनता की सेवा का साधन बनाने से कोई रोक पाएगा। मैं एक बार फिर आप सबका धन्यवाद करता हूं और उम्मीद करता हूं कि लंबे अरसे तक आपके साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर कांग्रेस को जनता की पीड़ा हरने का व्हीकल बनाने का हम सबको मौका मिलेगा। एक बार फिर आपके शब्दों के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, नमस्कार।